welcome to the full stack development training course. So, what is full stack development? Where we are coming from and where we are going to, everything will go to learn in this course. So, here is about me. So, my name is Harish Kumar, and I'm doing as an open source tech lead with one of the leading MNC. And now I'm running with 10 plus years of experience in handling full stack development and full stack software lifecycle with all open source technologies. And you can follow me on my social media links on Facebook and on my Facebook page, also on LinkedIn. Okay, now what is full stack? Before going to learn about full stack, we have to know about full stack first. What is full stack? So, full stack is nothing but a simple solution to provide end-to-end technical solutions for software development lifecycle. So what we are doing here is we have to have knowledge on multiple technologies, whatever we are going to be use as end to end. I mean to say that edge technologies from where we are getting the idea onwards, where we are going to deliver the project is real time all into. So that's what the full stack and overview. So coming to this, so what is actually the full stack? Full stack is nothing but having complete idea on end-to-end tech solutions, technologies, and its solutions to how to implement a software, how to convert idea into the software, what are the technologies we need to use into the software, and what that final product we are going to be release into the public market. That's what complete full stack is having inside its own margin. So, so become a full stack developer, you have to have at least one knowledge, at least one item uh, into your bucket. I mean to say item in the sense a tech stack. So in the market there are many tech stacks. So we mean to say them a lamp tech stack. I mean to say that full stack, lamp full stack, mean full stack, MERN full stack, jam full stack, along with .NET full stack, ROR full stack, Python full stack, Java full stack. These all are the full stacks. Full stack is in the sense it's a combination of different technologies. So coming to the LAMP, we can say it's a combination of Linux, Apache server, and MySQL database, PHP or Python as a programming language. Mean or MERN is having same full stack except one, like MongoDB or MySQL and Express.js and Node.js. These three are the common in these stacks. Coming to these front-end technologies called either Angular or React, we can use to build front-end solution. So remaining Express and database, we can Express to build that backend services, and MongoDB or MySQL as a database, and Node.js as a running platform. And there are many like that. Coming to the jam is a solution stack. It's not a tech stack, it's a solution stack, we can say that, because it's a combination of three things. The first thing is JavaScript, and second thing is APIs, and third thing is Markdown. Moreover, we can say this tech stack is for static sites, static page driven sites. I mean to say other things are come up with dynamic sites. The difference between dynamic and static is you can play with the database and you can run with the data driven screens. Those are dynamic. If any content should be static, that means it is static page. I mean to say, of course, page to page the data might be vary, but the content, whenever you come to say the content is same, so you cannot add content real time. You cannot change content in the real time. If you want to change anything, you have to go into the source code, you have to change the content there, then only it will update. Until unless next change, it will be the static. When we come to the dynamic, we can keep that without editing anything in the source code. We can drive the data from the database by adding or editing existed records in the server. So that's about the jam. Coming to the .NET, it's completely related to the .NET Studio or Microsoft technology full stack. ROR is nothing but Ruby on Rails along with MySQL database full stack. And Python full stack is completely related to the Python along with web technologies. And Java full stack, as you guys know, that Java is a well-known programming language for any type of applications in any platform. So these are the technologies. So if you become as a full stack developer, you have to have at least one stack into your basket. Then only the guy is known as full stack developer. Coming to the next one, the pros and cons of full stack development. So similar to any other, full stack is also having its own pros and its own cons. So coming to the pros of the full stack, so one guy uh, can become as a master in any of the technology in the complete life cycle of the software development. So mean to say that, so if the guy gets an idea, he is able to convert that idea into the wireframes, which helps to the forward take it forward to build screens and functionality of that idea. So there onwards that the conversion was started, then that product will come out as a software, final software for public release. And another advantage of this is instead of having multiple people to develop end-to-end solution, you can have less team members. So in the traditional way, if you have to build a software, you have to keep database team separate and UI team separate, backend logic team separate, deployment team separate, and maintenance team separate, like that. If you have full stack guys in your hand, you will get complete knowledge. He has the complete knowledge on the full stack, so no need to maintain multiple teams. One guy can take from the designing onwards. He can design the UI from wireframes, and he can convert the UI. He can plug the UI with the business logic what he will write him his own self, and he can plug that backend server or APIs or a business logic what we call. Meanwhile, the business logic he can plug with the database to go ahead and make it more dynamic, make it functional. And the third advantage is that full stack guys can easily understand that upcoming technologies because he has knowledge on each and every stage of the SDLC. So the way he had to know the new technology is what the new technology is doing, what exactly it is doing, where we are going to be use this. If he know about this, he know how to use there onwards. And if he follows that documentation, he can kickstart the project with the new technology instead of any other. If at the same time, if any other um, come to do any project with a new technology, he might know the complete information about the technology because he don't know where it is using. He don't know how to build components with this specific technology, whatever it is. Okay, like that it is added advantage to the full stack developers. Coming to the cons, it has some cons as well. It has its own fallbacks as well. So the problem here is uh, the thing sometimes if the full stack guy is having any one of the framework, he might choose in that framework which is not actually relevant to that. Okay, so in that cases, it is a big drawback. Sometimes we are not supposed to be take that stack as for complete solution for ourselves. Like some cases, Python, we can take that Python full stack for everything, but it is not a complete solution for that. If you are into the AI, or if you are into the machine learning or any other related networking or any other related stuff, you might choose the Python as the best solution. But sometimes it is not very good for web applications to be maintained itself. So in that case, what is the best solution is main stack or a MERN stack, which is directly read the data and send the data as soon as possible as a quick response. So in that case, if we choose as a Python as a complete full stack thing, Python has its own drawback on a web application, so it's not compatible at that time. But such kind of small mistakes might happen. So these are not things; these are negligible. Sometimes these might be my biggest. And the next drawback is the full stack developer is having n number of tremendous technical knowledge. So it's a highly complicated thing to keep all the stuff in his mind. Sometimes he may be confused within the syntaxes. Sometimes he may be confused. Sometimes he might forget the tool name, what exactly he need to use. So he has to be maintain complete doc for that for himself. So these are the little drawbacks we can uh, overcome with our specific skill sets. So now here is the track of training. So as overview, we can go with these main blocks of the track. So those are first basic components. Basic concepts of that programming and full stack. Basic concepts of everything, whatever software, what are the different things of this and everything. And then programming concepts. We are going to be learn all different kinds of programming concepts here. And front end, what is a front end and how we are building here, and back end. So these all are the blocks: database, development, and project is optional. So if you guys selected this project, you may get some additional stuff along with you. If you're not choosing any project, you might be stopped with deployment. Okay, so what inside of this courses? So here is the first thing, that is the basic concept, introduction of the technology, whatever we take in the full stack, the technology of the introduction of the technology, and the types of applications, what are the different types of applications. Um, Earlier days there might be single application, later it come up into the two applications, later it come up to the n applications. What are these 1 to n? So very beginning there might be default applications called desktop applications, but later, but I can say that when 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 web applications are introduced, they are starting to segregate that applications in between desktop and the web. Means uh, desktop applications only for desktop, web applications or built for web progress and web interfaces. So that means we can host that web application on the server, and then there onwards we can browse the applications through domain name in the browser. Okay. Later, when that smartphones are introduced by Apple, there onwards that another revolution was started with the third platform of mobile apps. So here we can discuss some more in that different types of applications, what they are using, why they are using, how they are building these apps. Okay. And types of architectures. So while building these different applications, what are the different types of architectures they can follow to build a tremendous scalable and geogatic system? So we are going through these all different steps here. And next, the thing is the relation between the client and server. So probably we might heard different many times different names called the client and server. Okay, so we can come to know what are the different what are the relations in between client and server, how we can establish handshake in between. And the next one is stack introduction and introduction. The difference between this is introduction is in the sense to know that overall view of the full stack and software development and everything. So but coming to the stack introduction, here we are going to be discuss about what are the different technologies we are going to be used, and where the technologies will help, how the technologies will be gathered, and how we can set up the environment to develop an application by using this tech stack. Okay, so going to the next is programming concepts. So what is programming concept? What are these programming concepts? Okay, the concept, the programming concept in the sense, programming concept in the sense how we are building a program, how we are going to be write a program. So we are following different concepts while we are writing this. So these all are we are going to be discussed under this track. Okay, so here coding concepts and standards. What are the what are the standards we have to follow while we are writing coding, and what are the concepts we are going to be use while writing the coding? And versioning control system. So this thing is nothing but a Git. This version control system is used to store the written code in a central code base. Means if four members or five members are in the project who are developing a different modules independently from end to end, that means one guy is caring about users module, which is under role-based management system, and one guy is building products module, and one guy is taking care of storefront module. So in that complete POS we are going to be integrate in the complete POS we are going to be integrate these different modules to become as a full-fledged application. So to maintain correlation between these two people, these many people, how we are solving the problem is Git is the better solution for this. So here we are going to be discuss about the Git and how we can solve the problem in between distributing the code and maintain the relation in between all team members. And the next thing is core concepts of the program. So any programming language, whatever the programming language, it doesn't matter. So the programming language may vary the syntax but not the core concepts. Any programming language should have these core concepts as same. So we are going thoroughly along with core concepts because these are the seeds of the program. Okay, next level is object oriented programming. So some languages may not have, some languages is having. Nowadays all languages are compatible with programming languages, sorry, OOP. And the next concept is error handling. So sometimes we can see that suddenly we can get crashed applications. So suddenly that applications got closed. Suddenly some application shows something went wrong and sending failure notice to the team. So like that we can get some errors, right? So uh, here we are going to be learn how do we handle such kind of errors. What are the different types of errors? How do we handle them? Okay, how do we manage them? We are going to be learn everything here. And the next thing is memory optimization. So while we are writing program we can create garbage. So the garbage will drain that physical system of physical resources of the physical system. Means it will drain the RAM. Sometimes it will drain the because of unnecessary process. It will utilize processor capacity more than anything as required. Okay, so how we can optimize such kind of things? Memory optimization, system optimization, process optimization, thread implementations. So we are going to be learn many things on this optimizations. Okay, and then we are going to work on the algorithms. So uh, probably there is a common word in the market. So any programmer can say this, any well experienced programs can say this, anyone can write the program, but the real programmer only come up with perfect solution. Okay, so algorithms will help you to become as a real programmer to provide a solution with a specific algorithm for a specific solution. We are going to be learn different sorting algorithms here to make process optimization and um, do some kind of application approaches. Okay, so in the next level we are going to be learn about front end. So any program, any software should have an interface. That interface is nothing but front end, where we are going to be interact with that application, where we are going to be work completely along with the application without having front end or without having any interface. Whether the interface is CLI or graphical user interface, it doesn't matter, but it needs that interface. Okay, so that interface, if we provide it in the graphical representation, it would be very easy to anyone to understand, anyone to be use the application very easily. So such kind of things we are going to be build here, the screen building. So for that, wireframes, how to convert an idea into usable frames. Okay, that is nothing but wireframe drawing. We are also saying that prototype, and then we are converting that prototypes or wireframes into interactive screens by using HTML5 and CSS3. And later we are going to add some functional with that functionality to that screens by using JavaScript and JS libraries like jQuery and other. So and then we can make that complete screens or reusable into any type of device. Nowadays we have, as we speak in that as we spoke in that basic concepts, there are different environments, right? So desktop applications, web applications, as well as mobile applications. So take that web application. So that web is capable to open in any device in nowadays. For example, you can use the browser in your laptop to open a page, or you can use your mobile phone to open a web page, or you can use your smart TV also to open a web page, right? So to this variety of the screens, we have to be provide one solution. So wherever you open that web page, it should be appear as its relevant screen resolution proportions. So in that laptops and desktops, it might be a limited width. When it comes to the smartphones, the screen size is limited to 6 inches. Okay, and when we go to the smart TVs, there might be bigger than the tablets, and the screen up to 4K in the home theaters, right? So we have to be compatible. We have to the screens should be compatible to fit any variant device. So for that, we are going to be add responsive design there. And next to that, screens, we can optimize that network utilization by using ajax and json. So network utilization, why this is required, what is this, we are going to be discuss in the further sessions where we come up with. But as very basic I can say it. So you can come up with your mobile data plan. The data plans are having very limited nowadays. You might get 2 GB or 2 GB or 4 GB as max. If you want to get more, you have to pay more. So within the less or 1 GB data, you have to be use 1 GB data per day. You have to be use many applications along with the websites and whatever that streamings you are having on your screens. So if the application, when you open any specific application, if it a complete data plan, if it kills your data within an hour or two, so it is not really usable to you. So by using ajax, we can optimize this loading capacities. So we are not supposed to be as simple as I can say. Without loading complete screen for every request, we are loading a particular part of the screen only. For example, so uh, you might see in advertisements on any pages or any Facebook page. So if you are not reloading the page also, that specific advertisement screen will load itself. The frames will load automatically. So that will happen through ajax. You are going to be deal more along with ajax. So ajax is nothing but asynchronous JavaScript action and cross platform. And coming to this backend, the backend. So as we discuss about the front end, we might have backend for this. So front end might provide the screens, but where is the business logic to make actual functionality of that screens? So the backend is the source to provide the business logic of that screens. So for example, if you come to any e-commerce application, you can see that all products on the screen, and you can choose any some of the product whatever you require, and going to the cart, and you can proceed with checkout by paying your amount, and that will be delivered to your address, right? So that is what you are seeing on the front, but what is happening on the back end? So in the back, so whenever you add the cart, it will collect this all information and it will keep in one temporary place. Whenever you are going to be checkout, click on the checkout, it will calculate some of the amount, and will it will plug to your bank account with uh, uh, service provider's bank account. That means whoever selling the product, that guy's bank account. So now you can pay by using any type of payment medium, like gateways, net banking, or any other debit card banking. By using any payment gateway, it will take that amount and send it back to the the service providers, the vendors. So finally, once if the bank account is receives the amount, immediately will that will return a token to him. Okay, I received it. Then when it says again, it will finish that order and send it back to the store. That store guy will check all this and he will pack and send it to you. So but on the front you can see the list of products and the action, nothing else, right? But in the back end, it will take care of multiple steps, right? So that is nothing but back end. That back end functionality is called business logic. Okay, we are going to be build the business logic by using different things. So file system operations, how do we store that files, how do we read the files, okay, like that. And working with DB, database storage. Okay, so uh, in the database section, whatever we learn with how to store the data, how to segregate the data, how to read the data, how to manipulate the data, we can read there. And we can reuse the data for data driven applications like e-commerce or any other. Data is the fuel of any application. Without having data, application is not no more useful. Okay, so we have to be work with a database driven. We are going to be plug the database with our business logic, I mean to say with our application, and then we are playing with the data here onwards. So and the next one is design pattern. To optimize that program functionality, we have to be follow some design patterns. So as we discussed earlier in the programming concepts, we are going to be manage that memory optimization and garbage clearance and process optimization, right? So such kind of things we are going to be implement here in the design patterns. So coming to the next one, we are going to be work with frameworks and CMS. So what are that? What is the difference between CMS and a framework, and how do we use here? We are going to be discussed. But on the top view, I can say something. So hope you guys heard about WordPress. The WordPress is a CMS, means content management system. You are not supposed to write anything. You can directly use the existing system to build your web page, right? You can install that WordPress in your server, and directly you can go and edit your pages simply, right? That is nothing but content management system. Okay, when we come to frameworks are simply, we can say, as the skeleton to build a framework, an application by using these frameworks. Okay, so like that. So these frameworks are come up with the majority of that logics, majority of the functionality what we are not supposed to be write commonly for any application. So by using frameworks, we can reduce 30% of the time to write that application. because we are not going to be write much logic here. We can only reuse existed functionality of the framework to build required application, and then we are going to be build APIs with the backend. So what are the APIs and what is REST API? API is nothing but application programming interface. So it means that API is having backend and it has its own pluggable nature. So in the future, you can directly plug this API interface and you can call that APIs to get data into any applications. These are the most required step for any type of developer, any type of software developer. Because if you are a front end developer, you have to be know how to integrate the APIs. If you are a back end developer, you have to know how to implement the APIs. Okay, if you are the full stack developer, you have to know both how to implement the API, how to integrate the API. Okay, so we are going to be deal with this. On the top, REST API is the most popular API methodology to transfer data with less size with large data. I mean to say, huge data in the small format, as simple as possible. JSON format, simply JavaScript array format. So this is about the backend, what we are going to be learn, and coming to the next thing is database. So in this database section, we are going to be learn about the different types of SQLs, what is SQL, what is NoSQL, and how these are implemented. And next, DB concepts. So DBA concepts are nothing but database administration mechanism. So how do we create tables? How do we design data structures? Okay, how do we create tables? How do we insert data into the table? How do we read data? How to delete data? How to upload, how to download, and such kind of DBA manipulations we are going to be learn here. And next, data design and querying. So that's what this is also one of the part of the DBA. So uh, we have to be based on our requirement. How do we convert the requirement into database design? Okay, and then later, how do we querying data? I mean to say either get the data or store the data. Okay, and then optimization of query performance. Sometimes when we are going to be deal with the mm, large databases like millions of records which the database is having, so at the time, if you run some kinds of queries, that queries will take minutes to hours. That will cause deadlocks, means server will crash at the time. So we have to be optimize such queries to be performed less than a second. Okay, so which things are not taking more than 3 seconds, so those queries are said as good queries. Whatever the queries are taking more than 3 seconds, those are optimal queries. Whatever the queries are taking more than 5 to 7 seconds, those queries are dangerous queries, threat queries. Okay, we can go to optimize such kind of thread and optimal queries into proper queries. Okay, that's about query optimization. So once we are done with these all, we are going to be use these concepts into our backend here in that working with DB concept. Okay, so that's about the database stage, and coming to the deployment stage. So here we are going to be learn about server creation. How do we create server? And before that, we have to know that different types of server service providers. Okay, so we can learn about static servers and cloud servers. So in the cloud server, we are going to be know about AWS, Amazon Web Services. So after that, we can learn how to create instance in the AWS and how to set up a server in that instance. Later, we can build that code, whatever we are having the code of the project, we can build that into the final setup. And how do we deploy that setup into the server, whatever we created in this session. and later we can manage that the server to access by public by using domain name. Like just like facebook.com, we are just typing the facebook.com, but behind the facebook.com they're following these all previous steps. Okay, so that's what we are going to be learn in the development. So, and the last and final one is project, whatever we are having as optional. So whenever you choose project, you might get a real-time project. What we are going to work on this, whether it is right now it is working or it is in the queue to start work. So based on that application providing us tend to finish the project, and if you are done with your project, the component, if it really useful to use in the real project, so we can use that package, use that part of the code whatever you build into the real client application, what we are going to be deploying the client side. And we can make the access along with the client if the client is allows you to access. So majorly they are not allowing any developer to utilize the application whatever it is having on the public server. So the developers are only having that access the code on the development server, which is not ever in the testing or any other. The developer only have the access to change code or edit code on that server, the development server. And coming to the last one is, this is an additional advantage for these people whoever chosen this project. So if you people are struck with your real-time job tasks, so we'll provide a solution to you initially. So best example, we can guide you if you struck with your tech solution anytime. If you really don't want to check with your team members, we can help you there to come out of the solution. But it has to be initial stage only, not for long time. Okay, so um, on the overall, we are going to be deal with these all topics of this training stage. Okay, then now it's your Q&A session. So if you have any questions, shoot me with your questions. I'll give the answers for you. Okay, thank you. That's it for today. And tomorrow onwards, we are going to be work on the real time sessions. Thank you.